Hello everyone, Dr. Jeff Galini here, and welcome to another episode of Ask the Scientist. This show is about busting myths and bringing you the truth. So many of you knew or know that I was a competitive bodybuilder years ago, along with I played college football and basketball. I played high school football, basketball, track, power lifted. So I have an extensive sports history of things that I've accomplished and sports that I've competed in. One of the questions that I get countless times is about peak week. Back then we just called it the week before the contest. And it really has to come down to how to dry out. So this last week I probably got a dozen questions like this that say, thanks for all the info. This one came from Daniel. Thanks for all the info you provide on your channel. It really helped me understand a lot of subjects. I would like to ask for some assistance on water cut for my wife that competes in figure. Also, Catherine asked, I'm a bikini fitness competitor and I would like a copy of your instructions about the last week, peak week. Steve, can I get a copy of your contest prep? Charles, please send me a copy of how to get dry. Thaddeus and Michelle and Penny, and the list just goes on and on. There were quite a few people. So as a competitive bodybuilder, it took me a while to dial in what worked for me. Now again, you have to experiment and find what works best for you. But this is what I used to do. So contest on Saturday, the week before, starting Monday, this would be the start of drying out. It was a week-long process. It's more than just cutting water. I would first go 0 carbs. So I would cut out all my carbohydrates. I would continue to eat my chicken and fish every 2 hours to 2.5 hours, probably 6 to 8 ounces. Plenty of salt during this time. So Monday to Wednesday, I salted like crazy. And the only carbs I ate, I had 4 green apples. I would cut those up, and those gave me just enough glycogen for the brain. Now I would continue to train Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So for those first 3 days, no carbs other than some green apples. Green apples had some good enzymes, and I found that that really, really worked well for me. I think it's a little less sugar than like red apples and such. But it allowed me to train. It allowed me to function. Luckily, I was able to take off work. But, you know, during that time, you were tanning, you were posing. So, 8 hours, I still was doing cardio to try to deplete, mostly just walking. Because again, I want to be completely depleted of glycogen and carbohydrates when I start my fill up. So I'm adding sodium, I'm drinking diet sodas, anything to add salt to my diet while I'm cutting my carbs. Wednesday night, I cut out all of the salt. Now I'm not doing anything with water, I'm still drinking as much as I want. Come Thursday morning, I now start my carb loading. So I've cut my sodium intake. So no seasonings, no salt, all my supplements disappeared. Wednesday was my last dose of sups. And Thursday, I would continue with the protein, but it would strictly be chicken breast. Again, no seasoning, just grilled. I cut the fish out, a little high in sodium for me. And I would add a small baked potato or yam, and I would eat that every 2 hours with my protein. I didn't space apart my protein and my carb meals. I would eat them together. And I continued that until I went to bed Thursday night. Now, Thursday I did no training. I drank as much water as I wanted on Thursday. Thursday night is when I would start to cut my water. Now, what I would do is I got a styrofoam cup, paper cup, and I would pee in the cup. Now, listen to me. I had one guy thinking that you drank your pee back. No, I would pee in the cup, and I would measure on the cup where the pee level would be. and I would literally drink back half that amount in water. So I'm drinking back water, but I'm cutting the amount of water that I take in. So this happened all Friday, and I would continue to complex carbohydrate up, potatoes and yams Friday along with that protein. Friday night, I would start taking, well, actually about mid-Friday, I would add potassium. Now, what this would do is this would start this sodium pump. When you elevate one of your electrolytes, potassium, it's going to force your body to start getting rid of sodium. This is a little trick I learned. I call it the sodium pump. It only works for about 48 hours. So this is why you don't start it until mid-Friday. I would take potassium 3 times, and then Saturday morning. Now, Saturday morning, I would start to add some simple carbs. Again, depending on what time I was coming on stage. Normally, our prejudging back then, was only bodybuilding, so we were on stage by, 9:30. So I would incorporate some dry fruit. I utilized dates, mostly pineapple. I didn't eat like raisins and prunes, things that could bloat me, because again, I wanted a flat stomach. And I would continue with the water. Whatever peed out, I would drink back half of that amount. Now during pump up, I would sip on some water, because again, I didn't want to be flat. And the last thing I would do is I would add some honey. Now, if back then I had Carbolin, I would be using neutral Carbolin starting Saturday morning, and I would probably drink 300-400 grams of that all the way up to pump out. But unfortunately, we didn't have that. So in a nutshell, that's what I did. I do have available my 16-week contest prep book. If you'd like a copy, it does explain what I did during peak week, but it gave you my whole 16-week contest prep diet, meal, what I did each meal. Send me an email at the top of the screen, and I'll send you a copy absolutely free. Again, if you're new, this might give you some ideas. If you're old, you're looking still to dial in, this is at least what worked for me. All right, well, I'm sure I will get more requests for this, because these type of videos seem to play for years and years and years. So no matter what year you're watching this, you can always ask me for a free copy of my contest prep secrets. All right, everybody, God bless. Take care.